Welcome back to Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm really pleased to have with me once again Patrick Cruickshank. He is the CEO of Chilean Metals, and he's back here with me again today. We talked to him, I don't know, several months ago, I guess it was. It seems like a long time ago anyway. But the company has had some developments since then we want to talk to him about. It trades in Toronto under the symbol CMX. You can buy it down here in the States, as I have, under the symbol CMETF. 75.2 million shares outstanding, trading at 17.5 cents in Canadian money, down from its high of around 30 cents earlier this year. And we'll ask Patrick why the price declined, because it certainly doesn't seem to be on the basis of anything that's occurred fundamentally. But this is a very small cap company, and small cap companies can be very volatile. It's got a market cap of something around 13 million in Canadian money, less than 10 million in U.S. money. So it's a baby company, but with big dreams and some, I think, real possibilities. Thank you for joining me again, Patrick.
Thank you very much for having me again, Jay.
Yeah, you were saying before we went on the air that the stock was selling at around 30 cents before the PDAC this year. And then it got tanked. It got hit real hard on a very small number of shares. Talk to us a little bit about what you think happened there, because I'm looking over the press releases since then. I don't see that there's anything negative that would cause that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise for us too, Jay. We had come on your show prior to PDAC convention in Toronto in early March, and we were in the midst of a drill program. We had just begun, and unfortunately, we had to press release some findings real early in the drill program. Normally, you wait till the end of the drill program and analyze it and get all your interpretation, then come to the market with your full press release and your findings and results. But because of PDAC comes once a year and it's the world's largest convention for mining, we wanted to have conversations with majors and talk to folks about our story and everything. So primarily we had to do an early press release after, I think, only 2 holes. And unfortunately, like you said, out of 75 million shares, I think about 300,000 or 400,000 shares traded us down about 50%. And as you said, I mean, we have a large market share issuance, like a lot of juniors, but the market can be affected by 200,000-300,000 shares, which is not a lot of money.
Right. Well, I think I can see. I think I can see what happened here, Patrick. In my view, at least, and tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of times, in these penny stocks, these lower price stocks, you got a lot of speculators, people who are out there betting on betting on a big economic intersection. And to a geologist, well, to anybody really, it's not likely to happen. It's not likely the first couple of holes are going to prove you have a mine. I mean, it's never going to happen, in fact. But sometimes when, for example, when I saw this press release, 2 meters grading 1.189% copper and just about 1 gram of gold, I said, well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good start. But talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that, that's not an economic number unless you have larger intersections or a lot more of that sort of, in the right dimensions and so forth.
Correct.
But what do you think that there's just the speculators that aren't really longer-term players who see something like that and they just jump out?
Yeah, so let me start with just talking about the science of our drill program. So because we are exploring IOCG-style deposits, these are massive, huge open-pit mine-type deposits. Let me give you an example. Olympic Dam in Australia, 100 billion, I think it was 1 billion tons of copper, 100 million ounces of gold. That's the size of these deposits. Now, Candelaria, which we believe were a copy or a sister to that, potentially, they've been mining for 25 years, and after 25 years, Lundin Mining bought them for $1.8 billion, and they're, I think, down about 800 meters now, still drilling and mining the copper and the gold. So with that style and size of a deposit, it's not a small vein we're going to and trying to find a small, rich gold deposit.
Sure.
So with that size, with our technical team, which has Minotaur Australia, one of the world's best, who founded Prominent Hill, and also Cloncurry in Australia. And there's a lot of correlations between Australia's desert and the desert, the Atacama Desert in Chile.
Mm-hmm.
So when you address this, it's a massive target. Our target we looked at was 2 square kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you announce a 10-hole drill program, that's a pretty big postage stamp that you're drilling. So we took our first priority of our holes are the southeast corner of what we believe our target is, the southwest corner, the south, the northeast corner, and to give you some examples, the southeast and the southwest 2 holes, number 1, number 2, are over 1 kilometer apart, 100 meters.
Yeah.
And then the northeast corner is 2 kilometers north of the southeast corner. And why we were so excited from a geological standpoint, and this is why the majors are interested, is we proved we're an IOCG system, not a porphyry. We hit IOCG lenses on hole 2. We have copper mineralization with gold, with the right host rock, the same as Candelaria, with the breccias, the skarns, the quartz veining, mineralization in the veining, and also mineralization in the host rock itself.
Mm-hmm.
Real surprising to us was the scar, the case bar. Case bar in the holes tell you're close to the intrusion. So after that, methodical scientific approach that our geo team takes for our drill program, we decided to take a break because the drill program gets ahead of the analysis. So we took a break about 2 weeks ago with our drill company and said, okay, stand down now for about 3 to 4 weeks. Let us catch up and analyze all the core, all the logs, look at the geology, look at the host rocks, start to decipher this jigsaw puzzle because this is a massive target. The last couple holes that we're going to return to we can talk about it later, but that is going to be now specifically targeted at, let's find this intrusion. Now that we've proved there's a charge system, we found copper gold all the way up 2 kilometers north of our target. So that gives you that the system is that big, which is a huge thing for these majors and potential buyers to look at us and say, this is massive. Okay, guys, now let's find the source. So 10 holes was never to find a discovery. The 10-hole program was to confirm the IOCG system, which we have done. That is why we're so excited. So where is the source to the system? Is there 1 intrusion? Is there 2? And the other thing we've analyzed from hole 2 and 3, and this is in our press releases, it's telling us to go west as well. There may be multiple intrusions. And an intrusion can be mineralized or not. So this is a huge jigsaw puzzle. Not that it's that secret. It's just it's a big system, and it's not a small little vein you're looking for. And we've been excited to have this system over 2 square kilometers, roughly at the same depth of intersections. And the geologists and the technical group right now is analyzing all that data. And then we'll resume for the last little stage, and then we'll announce everything again with an analytical summary. But back to your question regarding the market and the way they viewed us, don't forget, we were at half a penny prior, about 16 months ago. And we've twice, if you look at our chart, have hit resistance at around 30 to 33 cents. And that has always been with a financing coming out. Except for the second time at PDAC, and that, don't forget how many people have 10x multiple gains in their position.
Sure.
So I can't speak for investors, but some people are taking gains. Some people always sell on news, period. I mean, there's all different reasons people sell. There's only really one reason insiders purchase, as you know. Lots of people sell for different reasons, but we believe we are on sale. Obviously, because we talked before about just having that royalty alone is probably worth more than our market cap.
That's the way I see it. That's really the way I see it, Patrick. Well,
and you don't ever see a junior with a royalty, especially with a major like Teck and a big project like right next door to QB1.
While we're on that topic, what is the sense in terms of Teck producing from that property? Is it any news on that front?
There has been, and it came from Teck. You know that they have extended their permitting in Chile. QB1, they have officially announced in their financials that QB1 will run out of ore, and they will close that part of the mine in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
They're on our property that they purchased, Quebequary, right now doing work, and they have to get it ready. So we're, I can't say when, and we are very optimistic that, I've heard crazy numbers on closing this down environmentally and the cost to just stop mining there versus this is why people buy the deposits around them. To continue mining is much cheaper than pushing it out another 5 to 10 years. But don't forget when Chilean Metals sold them the property, they had already discovered 100 million tons of copper. But they obviously, because of the cost at 4,000 feet up in the Andes, compared to what we pay down at the foothills where Zulema is, it's a very deep pocket cost to do business up there, and we could have taken that to the next level, done another stage of drilling, but it's very expensive, and that's where the large majors do what they do, and so now they've got to do some infill drilling, get their grade up. I think they're terrible right now. They're down to like 0.2 copper grade in their QB1 mine, and they've gone from 400 million gross output to 300 to 200 to roughly 100. So they are running out of ore.
So it's pretty. It seems pretty.
At some point they'll have to turn this on, is what we believe.
Okay. So very good. Well, getting back to your Zulema IOCG project in Chile that you were talking about earlier, you are increasing your drill program to 3,000 meters, I believe. Is that right? Yes, we did. And then, what Patrick, just your approach here to this, then, as I understand it, is to do enough work to really attract a major to come in here and really spend the big bucks to move something forward. Is that the way you're approaching your project down there?
Yeah, we're so lucky we have so many options, and because we have had success at defining that we have a charge system, not just a system, and it is similar in every aspect to Candelaria, and we've actually in the last 2 weeks had our geology team over on Candelaria looking at their host rocks and their core samples from the original drills. So we're very, very fortunate to have multiple options. One, the market is turning. It's early days, but it is turning. Capital is coming. Very bullish on copper as a global commodity right now by many economic advisors and countries. There's the economic push with the electrical and the copper in China. You've got the U.S. Trump potential infrastructure program for 10 years, and you've got India, et cetera. So as the growth comes, you can't deliver synthetic copper and paper investments. Someone's got to deliver ore at some point.
Right.
So you can't build bridges without copper and so on. So we're very, we believe copper has a lot more. Some people are saying $5 to $6 in the middle of the next upcoming bull market. So with that, it changes the dynamic when you have a copper company and with gold, which is kind of, I look at it like it's free. It's a nice side profit formula. But we've got German interest. We've got interest now globally coming to us and saying, we really like your company and what you're doing, and you've got this royalty. Would you like to sell your royalty? Always get that question, and we're like, well, we could sell it, or we could be unique junior that retains it. Because if you imagine 12 to 18 months, if they actually turn that on, we'll have cash flow that most juniors don't have. We'll have, $6 to $8 million a year potentially.
Well, that would be good in terms of reducing your dilution. Well, with a minute left yet, this is about all the time. Maybe we can squeeze out 2 minutes. But what about your operation in Nova Scotia too, Patrick? You've got some things going on there, right?
Yes, we're very excited. We have a joint venture partner that's going to, as soon as the snow leaves, we're looking at May, but they'll start their summer program in Nova Scotia. They got a little bit of geophysics to do, and then they'll be drilling our number one target out there, which is called Bass River. And Bass River is a copper, gold, lead, zinc, silver target, and it's the largest anomaly in the province of Nova Scotia, right on the Cobequid Highlands Fault, which Minotaur Australia believes is IOCG because there's only so many crustal faults on this planet, and they believe that's the regional system that's there, and we have ground-proofed a lot of stuff, and we're pretty much drill ready on that one property. We have 3 other properties, and again, we're so fortunate from a strategic standpoint. We have 9 properties total. We could JV properties as this capital comes back. We could sell properties. We could sell our royalty. We could subsidize our royalty. We've had private equity companies come to us say, how about we buy into your company? So there's all these different, all very, very good options that will waive that, benefits our shareholder the most. But good days are coming back, and I really believe that we're uniquely positioned with that royalty, with a company like Peck, in a space like copper, in Chile, and that they're turning off they're running out of ore. They don't have a lot of other choices there. So we're very unique, and we're very optimistic on ours. And like I said, I don't think the 50% sell-off was warranted from a material standpoint, but
Well, what I would say to that, Patrick, is that means that people that follow this story have an opportunity to buy the stock now, dirt cheap, so to speak. So anything else, we do have to go now, but what should people be watching for? When might you have some drill results? What would be the drivers that might get this stock way past its old resistance level of 30 to 33 cents?
Well, I mean, there are some certain triggers. We'll probably be concluding our drill program and everything in 3 to 4 weeks. So obviously we'll come out with news at that point. Doesn't mean we won't come out with news prior. We are always talking strategically to other companies, other capital firms, also potential buyers. So you never know. I mean, there's a lot of interest, a lot of activity, a lot of M&A happening right now, and obviously these companies go after the strongest, most opportunistic type companies first that have the size and scale that these large majors are looking for. So I think we have all those unique items there.
All right. All right. We'll have to let it go at that, I'm afraid, Patrick. Thank you so much for being with us, and people should go to the website to learn more, right? And that would be, is that ChileanMetals.com, or what is your website?
It is, Jay. Yes, and we're open to talk to anybody and respond, and we're very, very optimistic and excited about our short future in front of us.